Ever wake up, shuffle to the kitchen, pour yourself a cup of coffee, maybe toast some bread, crack an egg, or grab whatever's quick, and still feel like your engine never quite starts? You sit down, same chair, same morning routine, but something's off. Your mind's a little foggy. Your body feels a step behind. And let's be honest, things down there aren't exactly eager to rise and shine the way they used to. And you might brush it off. I'm just getting older. It's probably nothing. This is normal, right? But let me ask you this, when did you stop feeling like you in the morning? When did breakfast stop being fuel and start feeling like a ritual you barely noticed? Because here's the truth. What you're putting on your plate every single morning may be one of the biggest reasons your blood flow is slowing down, your energy is dipping, and your confidence in the bedroom is quietly slipping away. I've sat across from so many men, real, good men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Who blamed aging for every drop in performance, every struggle with stamina, every awkward moment in intimacy. But you know what I tell them? It's not age. It's your breakfast. Now that might sound ridiculous. But stick with me, because once you see the science, the simplicity, and the results, it won't sound silly at all. You see, your morning meal isn't just about getting full. It's about getting fueled. For energy. For circulation. For testosterone production. For intimacy. And for dignity. Because whether we like to talk about it or not, when the blood stops flowing down there, it's not just about pleasure. It's about identity. It's about how a man feels about himself. And when that fades, so does everything else. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to be that way. You're not broken. You're not finished. You're just uninformed. Until now. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 simple tweaks you can make to your breakfast routine, no pills, no gimmicks. That can help boost blood flow, fire up your hormones, and make you feel like yourself again. And the third one? You've probably never heard it from any doctor before, but it just might become your secret weapon. So before we dive in, let me ask you a quick question. Backhand index pointing right, what's your usual breakfast? Be honest. Cereal? Toast? A quick coffee and out the door? Drop it in the comments below, I want to know what you're starting your day with. And hey, if you're a man over 60 and you're not subscribed to this channel, Thrive After 70, then I need to tell you something hard but true. You are missing out on the only place that's telling you what your doctor won't. The place that talks about circulation, testosterone, erections, and energy with no shame and no fluff. The place that's not afraid to say, "Sir, this is your life we're talking about." So don't be the guy who scrolls, watches, and walks away like nothing's happening. Don't be the guy who waits until it's too late to make a change. And don't be the guy who says, "I wish I'd started sooner." Be the man who hits that red button right now, and chooses to thrive, not just survive, after 70. Let's fix breakfast. Let's fix blood flow. And let's fix you. Let's dive in. Let's start with what might be the biggest breakfast lie ever sold to men like you and me. Cereal. I'm talking about the ones you've seen 100 times, heart healthy, whole grain, fortified with vitamins, smiling cartoons or gold medal logos stamped on the box. Sounds healthy, right? Now let me tell you about Joe. Joe's 68. Retired military. Tough guy, sharp dresser, loves golf. He told me once, "Doc, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I exercise when I can, and I eat my cereal every morning like clockwork." What kind? Cornflakes. Sometimes with a banana. Always with a tall glass of orange juice on the side. Sounds like a clean, safe choice. But every day around 10:30 a.m., Joe would crash, mentally and physically. Foggy brain. Sluggish body. Low energy. No motivation. By evening, He barely wanted to engage with his wife. And in the bedroom? Let's just say, Joe started making excuses. And he didn't connect the dots, until we dug deeper. You see, that innocent bowl of flakes? It was doing more damage than he ever imagined. Here's what was really happening in Joe's body, and maybe in yours too. When you start your day with refined carbs and sugar, like cereal and juice, your blood sugar spikes fast. And sure, you feel a short boost of energy. But it's fake fuel. Because soon after, comes the crash. Insulin surges, blood sugar plummets, hormones get confused, and your body enters a cycle of stress and fatigue. But here's the part no cereal box will ever tell you. Right arrow, that same spike crash pattern inflames your blood vessels, especially the tiny ones responsible for blood flow, down there. Right arrow, it messes with your testosterone levels, dampening the very hormone that gives you drive, muscle tone, and sexual energy. So yeah. Joe thought he was eating light and healthy. But in reality, he was starving his masculinity with every spoonful. Now listen, this is not about guilt. This is about awareness. Because once Joe made the switch, everything started to shift. What did he do? He dropped the flakes, ditched the juice, and started eating real food, steel-cut oats cooked slow with water or almond milk. A dash of cinnamon. A handful of fresh berries. Maybe some walnuts or flaxseed on top. That, my friend, is fuel. Not flashy. Not sugary. But steady. Powerful. Sustaining. It keeps your blood sugar level, your mind sharp, and your hormones supported. It's the kind of breakfast that says, I'm not running on fumes. I'm building fire. And now, Joe's mornings are sharper. His mood is better. And yeah, he says things are waking up with a lot more confidence these days. So I've gotta ask you straight. Backhand index pointing right, what's in your bowl? Backhand index pointing right, what are you really feeding your body when it needs power the most? Because if you're still pouring boxed cereal into your body thinking it's good for your heart, you're playing a dangerous game with your health. You can't claim you want stronger circulation and better performance, and then start your day with dessert disguised as breakfast. And if you're still not subscribed to this channel, Thrive After 70, while listening to this, you might be ignoring the most important wake-up call of your life. Let me be blunt. Subscribing today could be the first right decision you've made all week. Because what you're going to hear next, it's the stuff most men never hear, until it's too late. We've fixed the carbs. Now let's talk about what you're missing, fat. Not the bad kind. The kind your body craves for circulation, hormones, and drive. Let's get into it. Now let's talk about something most guys were trained to fear. Fat. I mean, we all lived through the low-fat craze, right? Everything in the 90s screamed. Fat is the enemy. Fat clogs your heart. Fat makes you fat. So what did most men do? They tossed the yolks, skipped the butter, bought skim milk, ate dry toast, and replaced their eggs with granola bars and margarine. Let me introduce you to George. George is 72. Former firefighter. One of those strong, dependable types. Spent his whole life taking care of others. Now retired, sharp mind, still active. But he came to me and said, Doc, I don't get it. I'm eating clean. No fat, no red meat, mostly whole grains and fruit. But I've got no zip. My wife says I've lost my edge. And in the bedroom? And it all starts with what you put on your plate every single day. I don't feel like me anymore. And I said, George, you're not eating clean. You're eating empty. Here's the hard truth. Backhand index pointing right, your body needs healthy fat. Especially now. Backhand index pointing right, without it, your hormones can't function properly. See, testosterone, the very thing that gives you your spark, your sex drive, your confidence, and even helps protect your muscles and bones, is made from cholesterol. That's right. Cholesterol. The very thing you were told to avoid like the plague. But not all cholesterol is bad. Not all fat is evil. Your heart doesn't suffer from fat, it suffers from inflammation caused by sugar and processed junk. Meanwhile, when you starve your body of fat, you don't just lower your calories, you lower your masculinity. George had been unknowingly starving his hormones for over a decade. No yolks. No nuts. No olive oil. Just low-fat everything. And his testosterone levels? You could barely find them. Now, let's talk about what happened when he changed things up. He started simple. 2 pasture-raised eggs in the morning. Cooked in a bit of real butter or olive oil. Added half an avocado on the side. And tossed a tablespoon of flaxseed into his oatmeal or smoothie. And here's what George said to me 2 weeks later. "Doc, I woke up, and for the first time in months, I felt alive again." He wasn't lifting cars or running marathons. But he felt clearer, more focused, more present. And yes, he said things were starting to function. Because when you feed your body what it actually needs, it rewards you. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to fry bacon in lard and go wild. I'm talking about smart fats. Eggs. Avocados. Nuts. Seeds. Olive oil. Fatty fish like salmon. These are building blocks, not belly bloaters. They reduce inflammation. Support healthy testosterone. Protect your brain. And yes, they open the pipes so that blood can get where it needs to go when the time is right. So if you've been avoiding fat because you were told it's dangerous, let me ask you this. How's that working out for you? Because if you're feeling sluggish, foggy, disconnected, or frustrated in the bedroom, maybe it's not age. Maybe it's not your partner. Maybe it's not stress. Maybe it's just a lack of fuel. And if that hits home for you, and you're still not subscribed to Thrive After 70, I've got to ask. What are you waiting for? Seriously. If you're a man over 60 and you care even a little bit about your energy, your confidence, your erections, your heart, or your legacy, why wouldn't you subscribe right now? I'm not here selling dreams. I'm here delivering what decades of research, medical experience, and real-life men have shown me works. This isn't about trends. This is about truth. And hey, if for some reason you still don't want to hit that button, head to the comments and tell us why. We're listening. And trust me, you're not the only one who needs to hear your reason. Now, you've cut the sugar. You've added the fat. But there's one more thing I want to show you. And if you're serious about circulation and performance, this next food is your secret weapon. Let's talk beets, spinach, and what I like to call nature's Viagra. Alright. We've cut out the sugary cereals. We've brought back healthy fats to fuel your testosterone. Now it's time to talk about something unexpected. Something that could quietly change everything. Beets. Spinach. Yep, you heard that right. Before you roll your eyes or click away, just hang on a second. Let me introduce you to Larry. Larry is 72. Widower. Former small business owner. Salt of the earth kind of guy. No nonsense, straight talker. He came to me one day after a local men's health talk I gave and said, "Doc, I'm doing most things right. But my mornings feel dull, and my nights. Let's just say there's a lot of, maybe tomorrow, going on." We had a conversation. I asked about his diet. No surprise, no greens, no beets, nothing too earthy. He said, "I'm not a rabbit." Fair enough. But I asked him to trust me. "Try a beet smoothie 3 times a week," I said. "Just a small one. Beets, banana, a few berries, water or almond milk. Nothing fancy. He laughed, said, "All right, I'll try your rabbit juice." Fast forward 2 weeks. Larry calls me up. I'll never forget what he said. "Doc, I don't know what you put in that smoothie, but I woke up this morning with no alarm clock, and a very familiar friend I haven't seen in months, if you catch my drift." Now listen, Larry didn't change his entire life. He didn't buy expensive supplements. He didn't do cold plunges or testosterone shots. He just added beets. Here's why that mattered. DNA beets, and spinach too, are rich in something called nitrates. When your body digests these, it converts them into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide? That's the magic gas your body needs to relax blood vessels and improve blood flow. In fact, that's exactly what prescription ED meds like Viagra and Cialis are trying to mimic. They just take the shortcut. But beets? Spinach? They're the real thing. Natural. Gentle. And no side effects. But here's where most men mess up. They think beets are only for salads. Or they think spinach is just for bodybuilders and cartoons. Let me clear that up right now. Drop of blood beets are circulation gold. Drop of blood spinach is vascular fuel. If you want blood to move, if you want things to wake up, if you want to feel like a man again, not just some older version of who you used to be, you need this in your system. And here's how simple it can be. Egg: toss a handful of spinach into your morning omelet. Teacup without handle: add a beet to your smoothie, raw or steamed, doesn't matter. Green salad, or just roast a few beets and keep them in the fridge to slice into lunch. You don't need a complicated meal plan. You just need consistency. And I get it, maybe you hate the taste of beets. Maybe spinach reminds you of soggy school lunch trays. But if I told you that adding one simple veggie could make the difference between disappointment and performance, would you really let taste stop you? Here's where I get serious with you. Because if you've watched this far, and you're still planning to ignore this, still planning to skip the beets, dodge the greens, and go back to your old routine, let me ask you this. Are you choosing to stay stuck? Because the science is clear. The results are real. And the guys who act on this, they're getting their vitality back, one bite at a time. So don't come back in a month saying things still aren't working. If you're not even willing to put spinach in your eggs. And don't tell me nothing helps when you still haven't hit that red subscribe button for the one channel that's finally giving it to you straight. Backhand index pointing right. Look, if you're watching this, over 60, and serious about feeling better, performing better, and aging with purpose, you need to be subscribed to Thrive After 70. We don't sugarcoat. We don't waste your time. We speak to men like you, the ones who still want more out of life. So if you're in, hit that red button now. And if you're still holding back, then do this. Scroll to the comments right now, and explain why. We're waiting. And we're listening. Now. You've made it this far. You've got the tools. But this isn't just about food anymore. It's about what all these changes really mean for your future. Let's talk about the emotional side, the part no one likes to admit but every man feels. Stick with me. This next part may be the most important of all. Let me slow it down for a moment. Because I know what this really feels like. It's scary. When your body doesn't feel like your own anymore. When you look in the mirror and see the same face, older, wiser maybe, but you don't feel like the man you used to be inside. When you roll over in bed and suddenly feel like a stranger in your own skin. When you love your partner, but avoid intimacy because you're afraid it won't work the way it used to. I get it. I've seen it. I've heard the stories. And more importantly, I've lived it with men just like you. But listen to me closely. This isn't the end. It's not your decline. It's not your surrender. This is your turning point. This is where you take the will back. This is where you stop blaming age, and start reclaiming control. Because you're not broken. You're not weak. And you're definitely not too far gone. You're just, underfueled. Underinformed. Undersupported. But not anymore. Because now you know. This is about power. Clarity. Confidence. Not shame. Forget the labels. Forget what society whispers when a man hits 60. You're not fading, you're still here. And you have more fight in you than most 20-somethings ever will. So let's make this simple. Start with one thing. Just one change to your breakfast. One choice that says, I'm not done yet. Ditch the sugary junk. Add the healthy fat. Blend the beet. Toss in the spinach. Let it be the beginning of your comeback. You don't have to overhaul your entire life today. You just need to take one bold step that leads to the next, and the next. And I'm telling you, if you do this, if you give your body the fuel it needs, you can absolutely feel strong, desired, and proud again. Don't let age rob you of what's still yours. Because it is still yours. But here's the part where I speak plainly, and it may sting a little. You've watched this far. That means deep down, you know you need this. So don't scroll away. Don't say, maybe later. Don't lie to yourself and say it's not that bad. If you're serious about your health, your manhood, your future, do the one thing that proves it. Backhand index pointing right, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the Thrive After 70 family. Because if you can't take that one step, then be man enough to scroll down to the comments and tell us why. Tell us what's holding you back. And don't just say, I forgot. Say, I'm afraid. Or, I don't believe it'll help. Or, I'm stuck in my ways. We'll hear you. And we'll talk. But don't disappear like this never mattered. Because you and I both know, it does. Now, let's recap real quick, just so it sinks in. White heavy checkmark. We talked about cutting out sugary cereals that wreck your blood sugar and hurt your hormone balance. White heavy checkmark. We added healthy fats like eggs, avocado, and flaxseed to fuel testosterone and restore performance. White heavy checkmark. And we introduced nitrate-rich vegetables like beets and spinach, nature's Viagra, to get that blood flowing exactly where it needs to. Simple steps. Big impact. And the best part? You can start tomorrow. So now I want to hear from you. Backhand index pointing right. Which of these changes are you starting tomorrow? Or maybe you've already got a winning breakfast combo, something that's been working for you. Drop it in the comments. You never know who you'll help by sharing. And if you're new here, or you've been lurking without hitting that red button, listen. We're not here for gimmicks. We're not here to waste your time. We're here to thrive. So if you want real, straight shooting advice from a doctor who respects your time, your manhood, and your future, backhand index pointing right, hit that subscribe. Be part of the community that fights back against decline, and wins. Thank you for being here. For taking the time. For showing up for yourself. Because remember, you're not old, you're experienced. You're not done, you're wiser. You're not fading, you're entering your prime. This is your time. Your body isn't giving up on you. So don't give up on it. Until next time, my friend. Stay sharp. Stay strong. And keep thriving.